Hello, hi, this is ggurface, and I'll be talking about game number 2 between LiquidTLO, TLO, and DIMAGA, mTwDIMAGA. Both these players have played one game before this. This is game number 2 in a bunch of matches between these two players. DIMAGA did lose the first game, hope I didn't spoil it for anybody, but that's what the map he chose for this game is, Scrap Station. There are two players, one player over here, a blue Terran, playing as LiquidTLO, and DIMAGA is playing as the red Zerg on the right hand side of Scrap Station. Let me briefly go over the map as each player is going to do their opening builds. We do see one Zelnaga watch station at the very middle, Zelnaga watchtower, and there is a shorter path between the two bases on the minimap. If you look over here, that is the shorter path, blocked by one destructible rocks, second set of destructible rocks, and each player has one natural expansion, pretty easily defended. You have a destructible debris here, and you have one choke point here. We do see a refinery is going up for LiquidTLO at the moment before the barracks, so he might be thinking of getting an early factory. It's often very important to see exactly what your opponent is doing. For instance, DIMAGA will be able to see that LiquidTLO does have the refinery up a little bit earlier, and he has saturated, so he will know that he's thinking about a gas heavy build, because if you do just want to rush with Marines and SCVs, which I do not suggest, you will not need gas. In any event, DIMAGA is taking the first expansion at 16 supply. I know I'm saying a lot of things that a lot of you guys do know already, but I think some people do want me to say it, some people don't. So if you have suggestions about what you think I should do, should not do, let me know, but please keep it a little bit at least on the logical side. Don't ask me to swim in a lake upside down with a dolphin screaming "Gee gee gaga" at the top of my lungs, because even though I could probably do that, but I just gotta find a dolphin that wants to swim with me. We do see LiquidTLO is scouting inside the base of DIMAGA, and he will be able to see that he has one gas and one spawning pool. If we take a look inside the base of LiquidTLO, we will see that he has stopped getting gas. Usually when you stop getting gas, you want to focus on the minerals, and that is a sign that he probably wants to expand, because DIMAGA and most Zerg players would like that first expansion and go on two bases instead of one base. And so I think LiquidTLO is going to try and respond by having his own expansion as well. It will be interesting to see two-base Zerg versus two-base Terran. We don't see that too often. Most of the time the games do finish before both players get both of the bases saturated. It would be quite fun to see such a game. We do see one Hellion is coming out, and LiquidTLO has put his workers back on gas at the moment. He just wanted that initial boost to grab the command center and set it down a little bit earlier than he could have done if he had those workers on the gas. And we do see metabolic boost being researched for the Zerglings, and if we take a look at the unit composition right now for both players, we do see two Zerglings, and LiquidTLO only has one Hellion, just this one lone Hellion defending or offending for him. Offending for him. That Hellion is offending for him. We do see one SCB in the middle of the map, and this Overlord is going to get into position probably to look at these destructible rocks as the Hellion is coming inside the base. Additional Zerglings being produced, as that is a good response to any harass. And also, if you are a Zerg player, you gotta figure out the right mix and the right time to produce drones, or the right time to get Zerglings, because you don't want to overreact. For instance, LiquidTLO is actually forcing DIMAGA to make maybe a lot more Zerglings than he wants to. He's actually making 8 Zerglings, which is about 4. Ooh, actually a second Hellion did come in. So we do see some harass action going on. No drones has been killed yet. He's just getting a bunch of Zerglings, and the first 3 drones go down to that double shot. 5 drones went down, and these two Hellions doing a world of hurt to DIMAGA right now. And we do see a starport is going up for LiquidTLO, as well as additional Zerglings being spawned to try to deal with this harass from LiquidTLO. Very well played. We do see the gas has gone down, or not finished, and that will affect his build and his timing slightly. We do see a second starport on the way. Ooh, dual starport, very interesting. We do see a tech lab as well, so he might be getting some sort of upgrades, maybe Banshees or some sort of thingy. We'll keep an eye on the tech lab to see if he grabs any sort of upgrades, or maybe battle cruisers. That would be extremely cool. And we do see that at the moment DIMAGA is working on his economy once again, droning pretty heavily, not getting too many forces. It is really important for these Zerg to decide exactly how many eggs for the drones and exactly how many eggs for the units, and we see a lot of queens. If we took a look at the unit counting station, there are 6 queens for DIMAGA. That's right, 6 queens will spread your creeps extra super duper fast, and they will allow you to prevent air harassment, I suppose. And this is a very good building placement for LiquidTLO. 1 bunker, 1 supply depot, and 1 barracks. He could also block this off if he wants to, but there are 2 Hellions blocking any Zerglings from rushing in, so a very, very good placement. We do see Cloak as well as a Banshee coming out, as I had expected. A dual Banshees coming out of the dual starport. And I think Lair Tech is being researched by DIMAGA at the moment, and he's grabbing his 2nd gas, whereas LiquidTLO right now is going to think about getting 4 gases as he's constructing 2 refineries, and Hellions coming out to harass or running back into base. It's always good to send a couple of units to your opponent's base, if not to scout, but at least to do some damage and let him know, hey, I am still here, I have not lagged out, and I will be bugging you every once in a while. And we do see that one Overlord is in between 2 bases of DIMAGA and LiquidTLO, and as we see, these Banshees are going to come in, and let's see what kind of damage they can do. They're going to take down 1 queen, but I think DIMAGA has a couple of queens, and the queens should be able to take care of these Banshees, but it's just a matter of how many drones they can take down before the queens come. And he does take down 3 drones, and he's cloaking, and now he's going to take down maybe 1 queen. Focus on the drones, man. He has too many queens, and the queens are going to transfuse. And additional Banshees coming out. Ooh, 1 Banshee does go down as this Overseer does come in time to prevent additional harass. 1 Spire going down for DIMAGA at the moment, as well as 1 Evolution Chamber. Some people do like to do that dual Evolution Chamber, as that will give you twice the upgrades at double the speed, or once the upgrade at double the speed. And we do see that he does scan, and he's trying to take out some of the creep tumors, undoing some of the works that the queens have done, and the queen have no problem just putting down additional creep tumors because there's so many of them. He could keep 1 by the base to spawn additional larvae and actually spread the creep as well. Look how far the creep has gone. The game has not progressed significantly, and the creep is almost about 50% across the map, or 40% or 30%, depending on how you would look at it. And we see the creep is being spread more and more, and we see an armory going up. Ooh, armory, I like that choice. Armory is very, very good, especially, ooh, dual armory, so he's probably thinking about getting a lot of upgrades for his air units. And let's take a look at DIMAGA's view of LiquidTLO's base. And if we take a look at that, he doesn't have any information aside from the factory and the barracks, but he will know that he has at least 1 starport because he has seen some Banshees come to harass. 4 gases up for DIMAGA, but he's only mining from 3 of them at the moment. Watching the gas line I find extremely interesting because sometimes due to pressure or due to some circumstances, you're not making the wisest choice. Like you have a lot of drones or SCVs or probes on the gas line. We do see 1 Banshee coming out from the side, but it should be no problem as he does have 1 Sparkler here for DIMAGA. DIMAGA is running across the map with some Zerglings. Will take down 1 SCV, and there is 1 Banshee, and there's 1 Overseer, and the Banshee's gonna go down. The Banshee went down, but the Banshee was able to spot that 3rd hatchery going up, 2nd expansion. Once again, DIMAGA still not getting gas from that extractor, only on 3 gas, and now DIMAGA, maybe sensing his advantage, is double expanding, whereas LiquidTLO is actually upgrading his units a lot, and he's pumping a lot of air units. I don't know how effective air units would be against a largely ground army, especially against that many queens. That might be a determining factor, as we will see a lot of air battles, perhaps relatively soon. We do see a couple of... Ooh, a scan goes off, taking care of the creep tumor that was getting awfully close to the line of the bunker, and we see a lot of Vikings coming out. We'll be able to take down maybe a couple of these Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks are faster than Vikings, even though the Vikings outrange the Mutalisks. And the Mutalisks are forced to retreat as he's getting upgrades for bailing and ground armor 1. The 1-1 upgrade has been going up for the vehicles, including these Vikings, and additional Banshees are being produced. There is action all over the map, a bunch of queens in the middle of the map, and he's going to try to hunt down some Overlords. Will he be able to supply block DIMAGA? That's what he's trying to do at the moment. 119, and these Vikings are doing quite a bit of damage to the Mutalisks. He does take down about 4 Mutalisks, and I think the 5th Mutalisk goes down. And now he's going to be able to take down this 1 queen. If we take a look at the unit counting station, there's only about 89. That was quite a nice damage from LiquidTLO, but I think he's going to lose a good chunk of these Vikings if he does not live off, and he does live off in time. I can't really speak as fast as these guys can click, but he does lose a good chunk of those Vikings to the Queens, and he's still finishing his upgrades. He may be considering getting an additional expansion as well as additional upgrades. The Vikings are just hovering at the moment. He's probably working on his macro, not so much on his micro and harassment, as there are a couple of Zerglings he does not want to land there. And he does make the smart decision and bring over a whole bunch of Hellions. Hellions are extremely good against any units clumped together, but they don't have the upgrade, but that's alright. They do take care of the Zerglings, and we do see that he's trying to expand to the middle island over here, but there is creep being spewed on it, so he cannot expand. A very, very good idea to spew creep onto a base that your opponent might want and prevent him from expanding. We do see one cloak Banshee, but the Overseer does come over, and the Banshee does not go down, but the Overseer does go down, so a very, very good play by Vikings. And these Vikings are 1-1 at the moment. He's getting his second weapons upgrade for LiquidTLO, and he's going to try to take down this one hatchery. I don't think LiquidTLO does know about this gold expansion yet. On his map, he does not see the gold expansion. It is black. Ooh, and right now he just spots it. Perfect timing, just as the hatchery is getting up and underway. Very, very good play by LiquidTLO, knowing exactly what's going on. I wonder if these guys are all just reading each other's minds. Some SCVs getting in the way, trying to repair those Vikings that are desperately trying to stay alive from these Queen attacks. These Vikings aren't actually hurting the Queens because they can only hit your air units. He has to wait for reinforcements from the Hellions to take them out. There is one Banshee. That one Banshee is the only one doing the ground damage in addition to the not the Zerglings, the Hellions. And that was able to force them back, and now these Vikings have landed. The Vikings was in the air for quite a bit of time, and they weren't really doing anything against those Queens because the Queens are a ground unit, and Vikings cannot shoot ground unless they transform into the thingy on the ground version, not the fighter mode, the assault mode. One base is being planted, and a second base is going to be planted, and right now we see LiquidTLO is going to surround this hatchery, and we do see a couple of Queens and a Overseer coming to try to protect this hatchery, but the hatchery is gonna go down. I think he should be running his drones away. Run your drones away, dude. Run, run, run. But maybe he just wants to grab a couple more of those gold minerals, but really not worth the cost of losing these drones. Right now, LiquidTLO has doubles expanded, and it's about 2 base to 4 bases. It's gonna be not 2 bases to 4 bases. It's gonna be that relatively soon if he gets them saturated. We see dual upgrades for the melee attacks for the Zerglings. Very, very good choice there, but he really needs to figure out some way of dealing with these Vikings, maybe infestors or some Hydralisks. We do see a lot of Queens. Wow, that is a lot of Queens. I don't think I've ever seen more Queens in one game. A scan goes off. We'll check if the Destructible Rocks has gone down on the unit composition. And LiquidTLO does like to scan a lot, and he has a Planetary Fortress over here. Planetary Fortress extremely good against ground units. A very good way to take down Planetary Fortress is with air units because they are not worth the units it costs to take them down from the ground. That rhymes a little bit. And these units are just sitting, waiting for the next attack from LiquidTLO. Perhaps he's gonna saturate his second expansion, his first expansion, second base, and we're gonna see an engagement over here. The Zerglings want to get us around on this ball of not infantry units, but SCVs, as well as Vikings, and they're actually pushing them back quite well at the moment. We took a look at the army size. LiquidTLO is actually losing a considerable amount of his forces to these Zerglings. And a lot of these Vikings aren't landed, so they're not really doing anything against anybody. And now he's actually being forced back into his Planetary Fortress, but I think the Planetary Fortress will hold for a bit. He does not want to engage because Planetary Fortress does a lot of splash damage to these Zerglings. At the moment, additional upgrades for the vehicles, so I think LiquidTLO is going to stick with this Air Force. Maybe he's going to... a little miss micro there, and he's going to land his units. Very, very good idea, because all those Vikings are just taking damage, not doing too much damage. Double Overseer coming, preventing the Overseer snipe, Overseer snipe, and therefore no vision for DIMAGA. And we see an engagement between these Queens, but the Queens can transfuse, and we do see 1 transfusion, 2 transfusion, 3 transfusion. Very, very nice play by DIMAGA. Extremely nice micro, and we're not going to see a bunch of failings running this Planetary Fortress. Will it be enough? And he does take it down. He's going to be able to take down a couple of SCVs. And nobody wants to build this command center anymore. And another command center is going down in the midst of battle, and these Queens are retreating. They're able to transfuse. If you take a look at this health over here, nobody is dying. Everyone is transmuting. Everyone everybody else, and we do see dual battlecruisers currently being produced. Battlecruisers always fun to watch, and these units are